This is a unique moment for Carnegie Mellon University. The future is arriving at a breathtaking pace. Driven by technology that is transforming every facet of human life, how will we as a society prepare for this future? Carnegie Mellon has always responded to challenges with a trademark fearlessness. And we know that the solutions for a future that works for everyone will be found at the nexus of technology and humanity, precisely where Carnegie Mellon innovates, pioneers, collaborates, and thrives.
When you look at Carnegie Mellon University today, we are number 1, 2, or 3 in some of the most important initiatives that will impact the world. The real question is, how do we execute?
The core strengths of Carnegie Mellon today really fit with many of the issues that are important in the world and people struggling with around the world.
Carnegie Mellon is a place and a space where ideas are within the air that we breathe here on our campus.
CMU has been and hopefully will always be a place where different ideas and change in education happens. This is where computer science was invented as a discipline. It actually happened over at the business school.
Looking at the connections across the campus, we're able to build things with extraordinarily high impact. We can do things that you just couldn't do anyplace else.
There are no walls, no barriers among departments. The whole idea here is to work together to be able to address bigger questions that are going to help society.
We take things that others might think are impossible and we make them possible.
Carnegie Mellon has been right at the heart of creating the very technologies that I think are changing the world in front of us.
Carnegie Mellon has been and is today in an incredibly unique position of being at the leadership position in robotics, artificial intelligence.
We might be at a point where technology might have an accelerating change on society and a more profound change. So now is the time where it's important to think about how we should prepare for these changes.
We've got an obligation to help people build strong futures in the world we're creating.
We're trying to lead the way, not just in things that are cool, but we're trying to figure out how to help humanity.
Technology can save life. I strongly believe it.
Andrew Carnegie, when he founded this tech school, saw that to have a well-rounded education, you also need access to the arts. I think the people that we have here are writing and devising and imagining work for the new age.
Anything we do is integrated with engineering, with technology, be that in performing arts, or in design, or in architecture.
Art and architecture, they go together. Buildings are more than just 4 brick walls and windows to house us. They're also a place where we can feel a space.
Design is about building worlds and about making new kinds of visions for the world. We have a futurist here on faculty who brings these futures to light and brings students along the way and helps them to visualize these kinds of futures.
Carnegie Mellon sits at the point where it can define what the future of science looks like from a data and from an automation perspective. Foundational science is what makes everything possible.
We have data sets now that are larger than we've ever had before. We need to learn how to effectively make use of these large upcoming data sets. And it looks like AI is going to be an important part of that.
You might imagine a chemist going into the laboratory and synthesizing 2 or 3 new compounds in a week. With robotic technology and automation, we could increase that 100-fold.
The biggest time saver will be that I will have to spend 15 minutes on an experiment instead of full 40 hours of doing the same thing.
There are things that when I was an undergraduate 30 years ago would have been science fiction, and today are a reality.
The student experience at Carnegie Mellon is so important to us. We know that investing in the whole student has an impact not just for the years that a student is here, but across the lifespan.
If we really want our students to be successful, we need to provide that environment for them.
I do get to benefit from the wellness programming here and the mental health services to kind of help keep me grounded as I'm running 200 miles an hour, like most of my peers.
Making sure that anyone who is qualified has the opportunity to come here independent of financial or other considerations, and that we have a campus that's inviting.
Carnegie Mellon has such a rich environment for diversity, and it's diversity not just in people, it is diversity in how ideas come to fruition.
We are a school that, will grind you and will really push the limits because we are trying to push the limits of humanity itself.
Almost everyone who is accepted to CMU has a certain fire, a certain passion in their soul. And being surrounded by people like that is fundamentally inspiring.
I think the future of Carnegie Mellon is only getting brighter and brighter.
You see Carnegie Mellon, whether it's innovation, whether it's self-driving cars, whether it's computational biologists, they are moving all fields forward and making possible things we never thought possible before.
Every week, I'm amazed by their ideas, by their creativity, by their way to want to push forward.
We think outside the box, and I know a lot of people say that, but we truly do. Maybe it's because we don't know there is a box that we even need to break through.
What can we do to help students make possible their education at Carnegie Mellon?
Make possible is about taking these things that are almost inconceivable today and creating a place where those things can turn into reality.
We're Carnegie Mellon, anything's possible.
We have the most ambitious thinkers, the most exceptional scholars, the most dedicated collaborators, and the most dynamic game changers. The CMU community transforms society when we place the right bets, the right investments, at just the right time. Now is the time for the next big investment. This is our moment to turn bold ideas into meaningful progress, to anticipate and solve the most pressing challenges facing humanity, to write the story of the next century. Join us. Together, we will make this visionary future possible.